friends who couldn't make it today because, frankly, this was a sold-out crowd. Has been ever since I've been president. Every year it's been sold out. So a lot of great friends. This is your knockout panel, okay? For those that are interested, see that curtain? You open that curtain, and it's a beautiful funnel right into the most beautiful ballroom. So it's pretty. And they wanted it for 150 years. We're getting it done a lot. Getting a lot of other things done too. Well, I want to thank you all and welcome you to the White House on this very special occasion. It is indeed. I've been at every one of them, and we celebrate the 100th anniversary of Black History Month. That's a big deal. Wow, that's sort of special. The 100th. That's about as like 150 is good, but 200 is better, right? 100 is better. I want to begin by expressing our sadness at the passing of a person who I knew very well. Jesse was a piece of work. He was a piece of work, but he was a good man. He was a real hero, and I just want to pay my highest respects to Reverend Jesse Jackson. He's a good man. He actually, as you got to know him, he got better and better all the time. A lot of people, you get to know them, they get worse and worse. Jesse got better and better. But I knew him well long before becoming president, and he really was special with lots of personality, grit, and street smarts. You would say Jesse had serious street smarts, right? Yeah. Very important ingredient to life, I will tell you. He was gregarious and someone who truly loved people and a force of nature. He was somebody that we're going to greatly miss, and on behalf of everyone here today, I know you join me in sending our condolences to the entire family. Great family. We're also honored to be joined this afternoon by many exceptional African-American leaders and patriots, including Secretary Scott Turner. Where is Scott? Where is Scott? Will you come up here, Scott? He was recommended by somebody who's very special to me, Ben Carson. Ben Carson. Where's Ben? Where's Ben? Come on up here, Ben. Come here. I gotta get him. And his wonderful wife, Candy. Candy, I'm gonna steal Ben for a second because, you know, Ben recommended Scott. And when Ben recommends somebody, I just do it. Did I make a good decision? Be careful. Don't fall, Ben. If you fall, that's the end. It's never, you can never recover from a fall. You can make the greatest speech ever, but if you fall, my predecessor taught me that. So is Scott doing a good job there? Come on, say it.
One of the reasons I was so high on Scott Turner is he was really the driving force behind the opportunity zones, which doesn't get nearly the attention that it should, but it was because President Trump realized that the best way to get things done is through public-private partnerships and have everybody with skin in the game, and it is working, as are all the other things that he's been recommending. And at some point, the mainstream media will recognize that you don't politicize everything. You open your eyes and your ears, and you look and you see what works, and you deal with that. But the best thing about Scott, he's got a lot of energy. You know, I'm an old man now. I'll be 75 on my next birthday. I'm not like President Trump. He just goes forever. No one else is like that. But Scott Turner, we call him the Energizer Bunny, and he is doing a fantastic job. And I want to congratulate all the people at HUD because most of them have come back and continued with what we were doing during the first Trump term, and it's fantastic.
Well, just very briefly, thank you, Mr. President. We are so grateful for your leadership and for your heart for America. And Dr. Carson, who is a tremendous just leader, servant leader, and been a great mentor to me. And you know, I never thought that I would see the day where I'm standing between the president and Dr. Ben Carson. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So I just want to say to everyone that's here, you know, as we celebrate this special day in not only Black history, but American history, this year that we've been here, you know, under President Trump, the Lord has been so gracious to us, and he's been faithful, and the president has been a tremendous leader in his work ethic, his heart for people. And when he says America first, he really does mean America first. And so, and to be able to stand on the shoulders of Dr. Ben Carson and for the president to trust Dr. Carson at his word is truly humbling for me. And so to stand now as the servant leader and the Secretary of HUD, I'm grateful to the Lord, I'm grateful to the President and Dr. Carson, and I promise you we will continue to do good work and to make not just housing affordable and everybody achieve the American dream, but really to bring transformation. And so that those that are in our country who depend on subsidies and this, that, and the other will get off of that and live a life of self-sustainability. So God bless y'all.
Mentioned opportunity zones. We did that, and I want to thank Tim Scott because he really, that was his baby. That was his baby, and he did a great job with it. We appreciate it, and again, Candy, thank you very much for being here. Special woman. Ben's getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's the biggest. It's the highest award you can have outside of the Congressional Medal of Honor. But it's better because, you know, a lot of people get the Congressional Medal of Honor, they're not around. You get them, they're not around. Whereas we don't have to go that far, generally speaking. But it's the highest award, civilian. And then you have the matching is the Congressional Medal of Honor, both tremendous. So Ben, I'll be seeing you back here pretty soon, I think, and you're going to get the award. You'll probably fill up this room. I said, we'll do it in the Oval Office. He said, sir, it's not big enough. I said, so we're going to do it right here, okay? All right. I'd like to also thank Senior Counsel to the Assistant Attorney General. He's a fantastic man. He's been my friend for a long time, Leo Terrell. There's no better. We have time, right? Do we have time? Yes? Anybody have to go? Like, come on up here, Leo. This guy, he says it like it is. I like it.
Let me just thank you very much, Mr. President. First of all, we are living under the administration of the greatest president in our lifetime. And we have the hottest country in our lifetime. And I want to make sure the Main Street media knows this because you represent the people who basically counter what the Main Street media has done. President Trump was the president who fully funded historically Black colleges and universities. President Trump took the lead and performed criminal justice reform. President Trump made sure that we had opportunity zones. Let me close by saying this. This country is at a crossroads, and we have the right president at the right time. And if you want school choice, like I know you do, President Trump wants it. If you want a law and order society and secure border, President Trump wants it. And more importantly, I say this because this is the greatest country on the planet. American citizens should decide American elections. Vote to say that.
Leo 2.0. Thank you, Leo. That was very good. He's a special guy. I watched him on Sean Hannity a long time ago. He used to be a Democrat, you know. Leo was a Democrat. That's a long time ago, right? Can you imagine you were a Democrat? I can't imagine. You'd see him with Leo 2.0 up in the hat. We love him. He's a great man, actually. General Counsel for the Department of War, Earl Matthews. That's a big deal. Thank you, Earl. I see Johnny over there with a great book. How's the book doing? Good? What a great person you are. Great book. White House Pardon Czar. This is a big job. This is a big job. Alice Johnson. Alice? Where's Alice? What a sweetheart. I met Alice and she was incarcerated for what some people would say today is not even a fine, right, Alice? It's not even a fine. And I said, how long has she been in jail? 22 years. I said, 22 years. And right, Alice? And come on up here, Alice. I said, 22 years, and she was on a phone call. This was over a phone call. I know about fake phone calls too, Alice. You know? They tried to get me in a fake phone call. But Alice was in jail for like 22 years. I said, how many years does she have left? 28. I said, 28 years left. And I said it, and I mean, she admitted she made a little mistake, but it was not the kind of a mistake that you serve 50 years in jail for. Like maybe a couple of months, maybe less than that. And I said, this is the most unfair. And then when I met her, I fell in love. My wife was very upset with it. My great first lady did not like that, Scott. She didn't like it, but Alice is great. And say a couple of words. It was so ridiculous. 22 years, she had 28 left. And I said, let's get her the hell out of here. We got her out. We did a commune. And then when I got to know her, she was so high quality. I said, full pardon. So she's cleaner than anybody in this room, even than my friend right here. She's cleaner. Because of that, she's cleaner than anybody in this room.
Thank you, Mr. President. The feeling was mutual. I fell in love with this man, with his heart, with his heart for this country, with his heart to really bring America back to the form of greatness that it deserved. And that's exactly what he's done. My story is truly a Joseph story. This president right here, President Donald Trump, brought me from the prison pit to the White House. Only in America could there be a story like my story. And President Trump is the only president who would have had the courage to bring someone like me, someone who received a second chance, but who knows more than someone who has sit among the captives, than someone who has been in captivity themselves. I did not get comfortable in my own freedom, but I went back, as Harriet Tubman said she did. She went back to draw many others into freedom. And President Trump has listened to those recommendations. There's so much more to come, because when you see me, you see a miracle. You see hope. You see second chances. And you see someone who is willing to roll up their sleeves and do the work, do the hard work to help individuals gain their freedom. President Trump did something historic in his first term. He signed the First Step Act into law. And with that, over 40,000, and that number is low, over 40,000 individuals have come home to their families early. And you know, many of those were Black Americans who had no hope. This president right here, as you look out upon this sea of Black Americans, this president hears you. This president cares for you. Don't let anyone tell you that this president right here, Donald Trump, is not for Black America, because he is. I'm standing here today as a testament to how he feels about Black Americans. There has never been a position like this. I don't know if there ever will be before, but I worked with him in his first term, and I'm proud to now officially have the title to make it happen. Let's get real with the realness. Let's get behind President Trump, who truly has turned our nation around and made us the envy of every country in the world. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, God, for
person, okay, pardon, czar. They gave me somebody from Harvard, somebody from Yale, somebody from Princeton, somebody from Penn, somebody from Stanford. And I said, do you know anything about it? Well, we can learn. When I met Alice, I said, she's better than these people. And she's done a fantastic job. You know, I said to Alice, I said, so I'm looking for people like you to let out. How many people are there like you? She said, many. I said, many? In jail. Think of it, 22 years she was in jail, and she had 28 years to go on a phone call. You admit you did a little something wrong, right? But it was like, okay. It wasn't 50 years. Even if you said 6 months, today it would be probably nothing. But even if you said some little time, but I said, I'm looking for other people like you. How many are there? Many. Then I was worried. I said, well, maybe she's going to say everybody should be let out. And we're not going to leave her out. I said, so Alice, are there people that shouldn't be? You met a lot of people, right? Are there people that shouldn't be let out? Absolutely. Then I know that. Because there's some bad ones in there too, right? But you are fantastic, and you've been great and so respected all over the country, all over the world in a sense. You've become a very big story. Thank you very much, Alice. I appreciate it. We have Lynn Patton. Lynn, thank you. You've been such a help. And Kelly Mitchell, thank you, Kelly. Thank you. Where's Kelly? Thank you, Kelly. And we have Dr. Alveda King. Thank you, darling. Thank you. You've been with me from day one, right? From day one, she's been there. She's been fighting for me, and I fight for her. I don't have to do too much fighting for her. She takes care of herself. Thank you. Thank you. We can say Merry Christmas, right? Thank you. Thank you for all that support for years, right? Even before Alice, a long time, years before Alice, right? Thank you, darling. Corinne Rankin, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Corinne. And Deontay Johnson. And a man who's been with me for a long time, and he's never asked me for a thing. Bruce, thank you very much. Bruce Lavelle. Thank you very much. I wasn't sure if I had your name down here, Bruce. I was going to mention you anyway. They did a job, finally. They always leave a lot of names out, and that bothers me. Like I see Scott Bessent, his name was left out. First time ever. Look at Scott. I'm looking for his name. I said, I bet he's the greatest Treasury Secretary we've ever had. I think he's, how's the economy doing, Scott? Good? The best. It's really, people are going to see, and watch the State of the Union. We're going to be talking about the economy. We inherited a mess, and now we have prices way down. We have energy way down. Gasoline is now breaking $2 a gallon in many places, and it's been actually amazing, but Scott's fantastic. I don't want to forget to mention him. I'd be in big trouble. All of a sudden, the economy would turn bad on us. I'd say, what happened to Scott? Thank you, Scott. And Secretary Lori Chavez de Reamer. Lori, thank you very much. Secretary of Labor, Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Diller. How are you doing? How are you doing with Harvard? How are you doing with Harvard? You know, Harvard's extremely discriminatory, unfortunately, and it's working good. Harmeet is on their trail, right? Good. Good. You keep doing that now. I like the historically black colleges and universities, which I saved. Leo 2.0 said it, but which I saved. We saved them. They had no funding, and every year they'd come back, and I got to know some of the heads, and every year they'd come back, and after my third year, first term, they said, you guys keep coming back. Why do you keep coming back? I said, we have to come back every year. For years and years, they had to come back. And one of them said, one of the heads, a great guy, said, they make us feel like beggars. We have to come back. I said, I'm going to get you long-term financing, and I got it for them. And I said, the only bad thing, I'll never see you guys again. I haven't seen too many of them. But we took care of the historically black colleges and universities, right? And it was a great thing to do. And so many others are in the audience that are just friends of mine. So many. But if I introduce all of you, we can be here a long time, and that's unacceptable. Not only are we celebrating the century of Black History Month, also, as you know, this year we'll also be celebrating the 250th anniversary of the nation's founding. And the good thing, when they cheated on the election, they made me wait 4 years, and because I waited 4 years, I get the 250th year. I get the Olympics, which I was the one that got it, and I get the World Cup. So I got the World Cup, and I said, you know, it's too bad before all this nonsense took place. I said, it's too bad. I got the World Cup to come here. Johnny, another Johnny, we got the World Cup. It was fantastic. The head of it, one of the great people. And I said, the only bad part is I won't be in office because my 4 years will be up. This would have been the more traditional route. And then they cheated on the election, and I said, now we won by we won by millions of votes, but they cheated. It was during a COVID period, and they cheated. And we did it again, and we made it too big to rig, too big to rig. And by doing that, I ended up getting the Olympics. I ended up being responsible for both of them. And we're going to have a great year, but we're going to have a great 3 years. We're going to have hopefully we're going to have a great century. We'll get it started. But as we honor America's 250, and I can't say that I got the 250. I tried doing that a couple of times, Bruce. I said, I got the Olympics, I got the World Cup, and I got the 250th year. They said, you didn't do that. I said, you're right about that. I didn't do that. We happened to be here at the right time. That's all that was. But we thank God for the strength and courage and grit and devotion of Black Americans who have helped make America the most powerful country in the history of the world. We now have. And you saw that with our attack a few weeks ago on Venezuela. We have the greatest military in the world. We make the greatest equipment in the world. There's nobody even close. Nearly 10,000 African Americans fought for the patriot cause, the Revolutionary War. Did you know that? 10,000. It's actually a number I've heard even higher than that, helping secure our independence in every generation since, from the Buffalo Soldiers to the Tuskegee Airmen. Black Americans have stepped forward to defend the flag and to defend our country. Like few others, really, like few others. And you've never really been given the recognition that you should get for that. You know that, Ben? They never, I don't think a lot of people have given the kind of recognition, but everyone knows all about the Tuskegee Airmen. They were great and amazing. The Buffalo Soldiers, do you know the Buffalo Soldiers? Good stuff, right? From jazz to the blues, that you know, that you do get recognition for. Jazz to blues, from rock and roll to rap, Black artists like Chuck Berry, Muddy Waters. How about Nicki Minaj? Do we love her? I love Nicki Minaj. She was here a couple of weeks ago. She's so beautiful. Her skin's so beautiful. I said, you're so beautiful. Her nails are like that long. I said, Nicki, are they real? She said, she didn't want to get into that. But she was so beautiful and so great. And she gets it. You know, more importantly, frankly, she gets it. But Black leaders from Frederick Douglass to Martin Luther King, right? Little relative over here, have made our country freer. They're really, what they've really done is made life more just. And Black athletes have inspired billions around the globe, from Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard also, by the way, what a great fighter. Muhammad Ali was a friend of mine. I put a picture of myself and Muhammad. It was another piece of work you talk about, a piece of work. But he could fight, couldn't he? Mike Tyson, boy, I tell you, Mike has been loyal to me. Whenever they come out, they say, Trump's a racist. You know, it's like a statement, Trump's a racist. Mike Tyson goes, he's not a racist, he's my friend, he's been there from the beginning, good times and bad. But Mike Tyson's a great guy, and he was so loyal, always been loyal. And Herschel Walker, speaking about loyal, how good a football player was Herschel? Herschel Walker now is ambassador to the Bahamas. I don't know, Bahamas, Bermuda, is it Bahamas? Whatever. It's a nice place. You'd like that, Bruce, wouldn't you? Bruce wants it. And a guy who became really, he liked Trump, Jim Brown. He was, he'd come in, he was very silent. He was silent but deadly. He'd come in and he'd look at people, and if he didn't like him, he'd just look at me and he'd go, no good. He'd rip the heart out. I would say there can't be a greater football player than Jim Brown. By the way, Lawrence Taylor, great friend. The great Lawrence Taylor, the greatest defensive player probably in the history of football. He's a great friend of mine. And, but I'm longer off the tee than him. You know what? Because I take the club back further. He takes the club back this far, and he hits it 200 yards. When you can do that, you're strong. He is a great guy, I'll tell you that. And all of this is a part of the legacy that we celebrated on July 4th, 2026, because Black History Month is really all about American history. And this is a big year. This is a big year for you. During my first term, I was honored to deliver unprecedented victories for Black Americans and all Americans, frankly, but Black Americans I single-handedly secured record long-term funding for. I told you, the historically Black colleges and universities. I created nearly 9,000 opportunity zones with our great secretary, and also I think we have to do, and as I said before, Tim Scott really he came to me with that idea, and we put it into use, right, Scott? And I signed historic criminal justice reform into law. We got criminal justice reform. Just so you know, for 30 years, you, more than any other group of people, has been trying to get criminal justice reform, and they couldn't do it. And a group of people came to my office, and they asked me to do it. They couldn't get it. They needed 5 conservative votes in the Senate, and conservative was 5 conservative white votes in the Senate. And of the 5, all 5 of them were totally against, and I called them up, and they were great. They were great. And one of them was Senator John Kennedy, to be honest with you. He was not in favor of it, and I spoke to him, and he was 100%. He's a great senator, a great guy, and you know that he was a tremendous help. So we got criminal justice reform done and approved, and nobody thought it could be done. And it's no wonder that in 2024 we won more African American votes than any Republican presidential candidate in history. And just over 1 year ago, we had a dead country. We were a dead country. Scott just said it. We were dead as a doornail. We had an idiot as our president. We had a man that was not a president. Number one, he didn't win the election. He was not a president. Yeah, right. He was a real beauty, wasn't he? He allowed 25 million people into our country. Many of them should not have been here. Now we have, by the way, we went from the worst border in history to the best, by far, the best border. But I had the support of many people, Bruce. I had the support of many people in this room, and we got right now the hottest country anywhere in the world. King of Saudi Arabia told me that. He said, you were a dead country a year and a half ago. Now you're the hottest country. We're the hottest country right now anywhere in the world. And you're a big part of it. And you're a big beneficiary. I tell you what, take a look at your 401ks. Has anybody got a 401k that's lower than it was, lower than it was a year ago? They're double. I mean, they are through the roof. The stock market has hit 53 all-time record highs since the election. And earlier this month, the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose above 50,000 for the first time ever, right, Scott? First time ever. And also, you know, they don't talk about this, the S&P broke 7,000. So when I got elected, they said, for the S&P to break 7,000 within 4 years would be a great achievement for the president. And for the Dow Jones to break 50,000 would be a great thing, but it's not possible. They were talking about it in 4 years. Scott, they said in 4 years it would not be possible to break 50,000 or 7,000 under these two very important, call them a metric, the metrics. And you know what happened? We broke it before the end of my first year. So we did something. So they said we couldn't do it in 4 years. We did it in 1 year. More Americans are working today than at any time in American history. So we have more Americans right now working than at any time And you know, when I see this stuff, I get the fake news back there a lot of it. Thank you. Sometimes we have to be very careful because they actually know it's not pretty, Leo. We have to get Leo and the DOJ involved. But think of that, Leo, think of that. More Americans are working today than any time in history. And since I took office, African-American employment has increased by 182,000, the highest jobs. 182,000, nearly 500,000 black Americans have rejoined the labor force since we took office. 500,000 wages for workers have increased $1,000, $2,000, even $3,000, and even sometimes, in some cases, $5,000 a year. That's faster than inflation, so wages have gone up at a much faster clip than inflation. We took over the worst inflation in the history of our country. They say 48 years or 49 years. I said that, you know, I said, inflation under Biden went up more than at any time in the history of our country. They said, he's not right about that. It's 49 years. I said, all right, I'll accept that too. Actually, I think it sounds worse. I mean, I think for some reason, because when you say the worst ever, but when you say the worst in 49 years, I'll take that, right? The fake news got me in that one. I think I was right, by the way, but I'll accept 48 or 49 years. But for the first time in many years, 100% of all net job creation is going to American-born citizens. Think of that, 100%. And in the last administration, it was going mostly to illegal aliens that came in, many of them murderers and others. Last summer, we passed the largest working-class tax cuts in the history of our country. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. And you're going to see that. You know, it just kicked in on January 1st. You're going to see tremendous results, and they're already seeing it. And I think we're going to have GDPs, we're going to have numbers that nobody's ever seen before, Steph. Joining us this afternoon, and really somebody that is fantastic, and Nana Bradford. In 2019, Nana and her husband opened an incredibly successful coffee shop in Arkansas named Hebrews 11:1. That's an interesting name. No one thinks that the no tax on tips matters. Well, it does matter. It matters a lot to Annetta. And she was able to grow her business just in a short period of time and hired more employees. And she's making a fortune. I'd like you to give some of the people in that room some of that money, Annetta. She's making it up. Annetta, come in. Arnetta, come. Where are you? Arnetta, come on up here, Arnetta.
I can't do anything first but say to God be the glory. I have no business being here other than Him having me here. So, yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to preach. Right. I'm selling myself. Thank you so much for inviting me and having me here. It's such an honor to be here today. Hebrews 11:1. People ask me all the time, why did I even open a business? Why did I even call it Hebrews 11:1? Hebrews 11:1 is my very favorite scripture. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and evidence of things not seen. That scripture has walked with me, it has grown me from a little girl on up. Not having no longer my mother here, no longer having my father here. My husband not having his mother, his father here. We opened Hebrews 11:1 with no funding, no money, no big family investors, no business loans, didn't have great credit. It was us and faith in God. That was 7 years ago. But I ran that business with just myself and one employee. Then here comes no tax on tips. I was able to hire 7 more employees. Just what you. Not only that, I was able to open a second location on our college campus. Things are just going off simply because having now faith. And so I love the fact of that scripture. Now I say all of that as to try to stick to my little written down thing that I wrote. I don't know how to do that. But as a small business owner, I understand how critical support is. I understand that you have to have the right people that make the right policies for us as small business owners. So no tax on tips has been an extreme blessing for me and my business. Not just mine, but I know so many people across the country. I know a lot of us don't want to talk about the good part of it. We only want to share the negative, but I'm here today to tell you you've done a great thing. Thank you for just loving on us and showing us that even in small town Hope, Arkansas, and I have got to say this, I have the best governor in the world. I don't only just call Sarah my friend, I call her my sister. And so that's why I am here today to just tell you that No Tax on Tips has been an amazing blessing for me. President Trump has been an amazing blessing for me. And at the end of the day, Jesus has been an amazing blessing for me. I love you guys and thank you so much. And I am a youth pastor, but I will not preach on today. I love y'all. Thank you so much.
Good job, huh? So thank you very much, Arnetta. And we can provide opportunity for the next generation if we do not also have a thing called law and order. We need law and order. You know, Washington, D.C. is amazing. It was a crime capital. It was a horror show. A year ago, it was really dangerous, and now it's one of the safest cities anywhere in the country. And we're in Memphis, Tennessee now, where it's like a different world. In 4 months, we've made it safe. We're in Louisiana, as you know, lots of other places, and we have the lowest crime numbers that we've had in many years. We have the lowest murder numbers in 125 years since 1900. And that's despite the fact that a lot of people are here, but those people have been taken out. Lots of them have been taken out. That's why we stopped the invasion at the southern border. And just 1 year ago, and think of this, 1 year ago, we had the absolute worst border that we've ever had, and now we have the safest border that we've ever had. So it's going to be really something. 125 years ago, that's before my father was born. I had a wonderful father, but that was before. So we have, murders are down from 125 years. We had the best numbers. When you think about it, that's pretty incredible. And those numbers are made up by Democrats. Can you believe it? They don't want to give me those numbers. They can add a couple of people here and there. But I've also deployed the National Guard to bring back safety to Memphis and to New Orleans and Washington. And the National Guard has been incredible, and people are safe. In the case of Washington, the restaurants were all closing up. People were getting really badly hurt and killed, frankly. Many people killed. And now you can walk down the street and you have nothing to fear. We have one of the safest cities in the world. And it happened very fast, Bruce. One of those who knows the importance of this mission is Felicia Cook, a lifelong Washingtonian who tragically lost her grandson to violence in 2017. Felicia, we're so sorry, and you are a spectacular person. If you could say a few words, please. Thank you very much. Help her up. We don't want any mistakes. Yes, you
He tells exactly how you feel and what he thinks. Thank God for this president. I am filled, my cup runneth over. Because he allowed his constituents, his people, to come to my house to interview me, to talk about the murder of my grandson. It seemed like nobody cared. I'm an advocate for murder. I marched. I rallied. I pulled out other families in the District of Columbia that had murders and did not have answers. Ooh. We marched and we rallied, and nobody heard me, Democrats. Get mad at me. Until this Republican sent his constituents, his people out there to interview me in my home. Have you ever heard of a thing? Then they invited me twice before Congress to testify for the beautiful bill that's going to change crime in the district. If you kill somebody, okay, you take a life, you do life. Just that simple. If you do a harsh crime, you do harsh crime. Just that simple. And if we need National Guard, and which we did years ago, he brought it on. I love him. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say about that racist stuff. And don't be looking at me on the news, hating on me because I'm standing up for somebody that deserves to stand up for. Get out the man's back. Let him do his job. He's doing the right thing. Back up off. Thank you.
provide a great lunch, and it's from the heart. Your little baby, right, was just so horribly taken from you. Under the Trump administration, we believe that no community should be abandoned to the scourge of violent crime, and we're saving thousands and thousands of lives in many cities. And frankly, if these radical left lunatic Democrats would come and say, please help us, please, we'd stop crimes all over the place. And we're doing it in a lot of cities. Sometimes we have to force ourselves upon them because they're so bad. And I don't even think they realize what's happening to their cities and their towns. But every town that we go in, every city that we go in, like Washington, Felicia, you feel much safer now, totally safe. You can walk to a restaurant. The restaurants were all closing now. You can't get a restaurant. And the bad news is you can't get into a restaurant. But it's a great thing to see what's happening in Washington. It's like it's a hot place, and hopefully people will be coming in record numbers. I know we need a little help. You need help in Atlanta. He just. You're right, Atlanta, we could take care of Atlanta. I'll tell you what, you ought to get them to call me. We could take care of Atlanta so fast. They don't want to call, they don't want to call because they don't want to admit it, and they'll never fix it themselves. Don't forget, we move people out. We don't just go in and, be tough guys. We move people out. We take career criminals and we get them out. We bring them back to the country from where they came. And think of it, 90% of the crime is caused by 2% of the people. So when you get the criminals out, you solve a lot of problems. Another way that we're fulfilling our duty to the next generation is the single biggest thing that's happened having to do with schools and education. It's called school choice, and our great, big, beautiful bill. Our beautiful bill, which really covers 4 years. We put it all together. That's why we call it the great, big, beautiful bill. This will help millions of African-American children and ensure that no child is condemned to a failing government or a horrible school. And we have a person here who's fantastic on this subject. Greta, would you please come up? Please, Greta, come on up. And her beautiful daughter.
Well, I did to God be the glory. And we're grateful for our president. He's doing some tremendous work. And I want to remind those that don't know that this was prophesied. So you weren't supposed to have a second term when it came about. This is your season. And God said that it was going to be rough the first 2 years. And that things were going to happen within the last 2 years. And yes, you're going to listen to all of these things. And so for that, we thank you. On behalf of all the mothers all around the world, I'm from Texas. I live in a zip code that I didn't have an opportunity to have a choice to go to school. And so when I raised my children, I wanted a better opportunity for them. And I'm so grateful to ACE scholarships and all of the doors that the president is opening for education. My son was in a school that he didn't have any voice. And he found drugs in school. And he died. And so I'm here today to just show my appreciation for all the moms around the world. We have a choice now. This choice is so important to mothers. I have a child that, because I had a choice, she's in private school, she's thriving. She's thriving. She's going to be an anesthesiology nurse, and she's doing great. And ACE scholarships was a big part of that. Changing education changes everything. Changing education changes everything. In my zip code, it feels like we were locked in a cage. And being locked in a cage, and we can't get out. And because of all of the things that we're doing for education, now we can get out and soar. Our children can have a chance to be prosperous, just like other children. And I thank you for that. This is a great opportunity. So on behalf of all the mothers all around the world, I stand here and I give you the promise while you can still get them. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Greta. So we're calling it in, and I just want to say this is an honor to be here. We celebrate Black History Month. We honor the memory of those who came before us by continuing their legacy and fighting for an America that's really an America that's safe and strong and prosperous. We now have a country that's bigger, better, greater than ever before. I want to thank all my secretaries and all of the people that came here. Our military leaders are here. We have a lot of people that are here, and I want to thank you all. But this is a very special group of people. So happy Black History Month, happy Black History Year, and happy Black History Century. Thank you all. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.